Last year, I did something unprecedented. I actually planted my garlic on time in the fall, and today I am so excited about my first garlic harvest, and I want you guys to come along with me to see how I did.
Planting garlic is really simple. Take your garlic bulb and break it into individual cloves, but keep the papery skin on. Plant each clove with the pointy side facing up, about 2 to 3 inches deep, and give them about 6 inches of space between the cloves. Then cover them back up with soil, water them in, and add a nice layer of mulch. In this case, I didn't do that, but that's it. Each little clove will turn into a whole new bulb by next summer.
I planted 3 different varieties of garlic last year. One is the Crandasker Red variety. This is supposed to be a large bulbed variety, and it's supposed to be also a little bit on the spicy side and have a red coloring to it. So honestly, all the varieties I picked this year was because of the large cloves and the large bulbs. So all of that have that in common. I also have the purple glazer. This is the purple glazer. This one has also a purplish tint, and this one is a little bit more garlicky. At least that's what the variety says. So we have the spicy, we have garlicky, and then we also have the music variety, which is similar to what you'll find in the grocery stores. And this one is a porcelain color, and the bulbs are very big. So you can already see that compared to these other two, this bulb is much bigger. And I will say that I cut the scapes a little bit late on these, so they're probably smaller overall compared to others. But since this is my first garlic harvest, I'd just say I'm pretty happy with it. So let's go ahead and harvest each one of these.
One last thing before we get to the garlic varieties. One of the hardest parts of gardening is remembering what actually happened. What variety did you plant? When did you start it? Did it do well? Would you grow it again? That's exactly why I'm building Garden Recall, a simple way to track your garden so you're not relying on your memory every season. If you want to be one of the first to try it, sign up through the link in the pinned comment below. All right, now back to the garlic.
Now this one has some red color to it. Now we had some rain. We did turn off the irrigation in this bed, because it's recommended that you cut off the watering for about a week before harvesting, but we had some rain, so the soil is a little bit moist. So you can lay them out on this bed if it's going to be a hot sunny day and let the outsides of the skins kind of dry off. I would say these are pretty good size. Look at this one. Oh, wow. This one is pretty big. Wow. So these are not as red or purple as I was expecting. Maybe I harvested them a little bit early, I'm suspecting, since this one is starting to get red. This one here. I would say these are pretty nice size for my first time growing garlic. This one is a little bit on the small side, but still not bad. A little dirty, but we'll let them dry off because we don't want to wet the skin and, you know, make them get a little bit on the moldy side. This one has some red. Okay, and we have 2 more. Wow, look at that. And so I knew it was at least around time to harvest these because of the yellowing of the leaves. So about 2/3 of the leaves are yellowing. So I kind of figured it was time. I tested a few and they look pretty good. So I thought it's time to give it a go. So let me do this one last one over here. And this would be my Crandasker red harvest. Not so bad. Now, if I had some extra music up in here, I wouldn't be surprised because some of these are really large and oh, there's some red. So I'm trusting that all of these are Crandasker red here.
There are two main types of garlic, hardneck and softneck. Hardneck garlic usually grows best in colder climates and it sends up a garlic scape in springtime. That scape is edible, and if you cut it off, it helps the bulb size up underground. Softneck garlic is the kind that you usually see braided. It tends to store longer and it often does better in milder climates. So the simple version is hardneck gives you the scapes and it's great for cold winters, and softneck stores longer and is better for braiding. And honestly, if you're not sure which one to grow, try a little bit of both and see what your garden likes.
All right, so these are purple glazers. And you can already see that these are way more purple. They have a lot more pigment than the Crandasker reds. This one might be a little on the early side. I can see the purpling here on this side. These are a later season variety than the Crandasker red. So I'm thinking maybe that's the reason why these are so small. And I'm debating whether they should stay in. Okay. Yeah, I think these might overall be a smaller variety compared to these. Yeah, these are little babies. Now here's a bigger one. See, this one is starting to split, so I figured maybe it is time to harvest again, and these are just a smaller variety. Have a pretty color though, very purple. Very purple. So it'll be easy to distinguish between the two of these. Okay, I think this is our last row right here. Very easy to pull these out when you grow them in a raised garden bed. Here's another one that is kind of splitting, so we'll use these first since they won't store. Here's another purple. Okay, so not bad for purple glazers, but you can obviously see that these are a smaller variety compared to the Crandasker reds that look a little bit more white. So let's pop these right there. All right, so this should be music at this point. I'm pretty sure. So let's go ahead and start. So the music are the porcelain, exactly. This is what I'm looking to, this is what I'm expecting. All white, look like the typical grocery store variety. So let's pull some out. It's a little bit on the smaller side. Again, I did harvest the scapes a little bit late, so could be contributing to the smaller size, but still not too bad. Oh, this one is split, so obviously pulled a little bit too late. There's some on the back end here. Another purple glazer. Another purple glazer. Oh, so these actually were kind of entwined with the lima beans, so the scapes weren't pulled at all. So this, my friends, is what you can expect when you don't harvest the scapes in time. You'll get smaller garlic bulbs. Some more purple glazer. And a couple I didn't see back here. Okay, back to the musics. back to the music. All right, more of that white bulb. And these are supposed to have a very robust flavor. So I'm very excited to try the different flavor profiles of these varieties. I'll shake this off the irrigation. And you can do some verticals of that too. All right, so here are our results. We have the musics, which are definitely on the smaller side. I was expecting them to be a bit larger since they compared to the grocery store variety, but I am going to, I'm kind of putting myself on the curve here because I know that I didn't harvest the scapes on time, as you can see. So some of these bulbs are going to be smaller. The Crandasker Red really impressed me, and I know that there are earlier varieties, so I'm definitely going to grow more of these next year. These purple glazers are very pretty, but they're very small, and I'm assuming I probably should grow them in a different bed and let them grow for maybe a bit of a longer time. And again, the scapes were harvested a bit late, so these are a bit smaller. But for sure, I know that I'll grow these Crandasker Reds next season because they, I mean, clearly outperform the other two. So next steps is I'm going to go ahead and clip these garlic stems, these hard necks here, and prepare them for drying, and we'll let them dry for a couple of weeks, and then we'll be ready to harvest them. The ones that are already kind of splitting or not in perfect condition, we'll go ahead and use those right away. It's perfectly edible, so we'll go ahead and just take care of that, and we'll see how it turns out. I think we're more excited about the flavor profile at this point to see how it'll impact my cooking and all the different dishes that we'll make. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. Well guys, that is our garlic harvest for today, and I must say that I am quite pleased with how it turned out. I planted on time. I'm notorious for planting late, and I planted on time and got a decent harvest. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And let me know your garlic growing experiences in the comments below. What varieties did you grow? How did it go? What date did you plant them by?
Before you go, don't forget, if you want an easier way to remember what you planted, what worked, and what you'd actually grow again, sign up to be a beta user for Garden Recall in the pinned comment below. Thanks. Bye.